What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. Welcome to Fightful. It is February 5th, 2024. Man, this has been the most insane couple of weeks, and I feel like I've said that about 50 times over the last few years. It's just been unreal. We'll get the plugs out as they come along. Leave a thumbs up on this video if you want your question or statement read on the air, and I know there's a lot of you that do. Get your super chats in here at youtube.com/Fightful. We have like 6 interviews dropping this week. We're going to have even more because both of us are headed to Las Vegas. So I'll be dropping some interviews. Denise Salcedo will absolutely be dropping some interviews over on her channel. Denise, we are a few days away from a press conference with no more answers than what we had. And we're going to be talking a lot about it because Fightful Select has done a lot of reporting on this. How you feeling right now?
Well, it's funny because I knew I knew something was going to go down Thursday morning, right? Because I was already going to Las Vegas for Super Bowl media events, but I didn't know that this was going down until it was actually announced. And so I'm just sitting here going, my God, I feel like from Friday to today, so much. I feel like we've lived so much in like the last couple of days. Like so much has happened on social media, so much has happened everywhere. I don't know. I'm mentally exhausted.
Yeah, I am mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, but you know what? Covering wrestling beats anything else.
Yeah,
Now,
of
I will
course.
say covering the Vince McMahon stuff has not beat anything else because that is horrible stuff. I want to make this clear. It is absolutely something we're going to continue to cover. That is not slowing down. We cannot manufacture information or anything like that to just come out of thin air. I am working with multiple mainstream media outlets to sort of navigate this and cultivate some sources. In the weeds, had Tim Marchman of Vice on today to discuss it. We had a big update over the weekend about it as well. We're going to continue to do that work. So no worries on that front. We have just a ton of stuff. Anytime we post something original on that, it'll be on the free tier of FightfulSelect.com. We do have a free tier. If there's ever like injury news or something like that where we're revealing somebody's injured or something of that like, it's on the free tier because we don't want to paywall that type of thing. But FightfulSelect.com, our $5 a month service, $54 a year, had a bunch of news today. Raw plans. It had news on Dijak's contract. It had all kinds of stuff. And tomorrow, we also had news on a potential role for CM Punk while he's out with an injury. Tomorrow, we're going to have a significant update on the timeline of things for this whole situation. And the whole situation is Cody showed up on SmackDown and basically said, I'm not taking your title at WrestleMania, Roman. I've spoken with counsel and they're going to take everything away from you. And The Rock had a face-off. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear because I've done an incredible amount of research on this. There are a lot of people that think that this is one big masterminded work. I can tell you that if you think it's a masterminded work, Cody, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and the creative team were not privy to said work before the Royal Rumble, or at least before the day of the Royal Rumble, which does pose the question, well, if they didn't call an audible, which I've confirmed they did not call an audible, CM Punk was never supposed to win the Royal Rumble, what was the plan for Cody? I can't give you that answer. I can't make sense of it. Denise and I were talking off the air. Dave Meltzer reported something that I found to be accurate. This is an Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro type of thing, a decision that goes even above WWE creative. We will answer a lot of questions about this. This will be the most talked about thing on this show. It was the most talked about thing on Friday's show. One of our most super chatted shows of all time was Friday on our post SmackDown show. And we're going to be bringing you guys a lot of information. But let me make this clear. If this was some masterminded work, Team Cody Rhodes, Team Seth Rollins, Team CM Punk, we're not aware of it as of last Friday going into that show because I heard that, and we reported it was a very somber type of mood there. We're going to have information on Tuesday about what was said between them, some meetings that had happened before all of this, maybe some warnings that were made along the way, and a lot of questions about things that were going on. So get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. We are going to tie in this opening segment with the main event, but we're going to sandwich the show accordingly, and we're going to go back to talking about this throughout the program. Seth Rollins comes out. He brings out Cody Rhodes. And Seth Rollins says he's still got more questions than answers. And he said, you know what? I'm not dumb. I didn't see you announce an opponent or anything. I need this match more than you do, or as much as you do, rather. They are interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who gets an incredible reaction, Denise, because he says what everybody's thinking. He's like, look, I got that dork CM Punk out of the way. Look at my shirt. It's going to be me and Seth. It's going to be you and Roman. What the hell are you doing? Are you dumb? He killed it. So Drew continues to be a fascinating character, but Denise, we haven't heard from you on Fightful about this yet. I want your thoughts.
What part?
All of it. All of it, that from Friday up until this promo, and how your feelings may have adjusted, changed, shifted since then.
All right. So, God, I don't even know where to start because there's like a whole lot. So, when this whole thing happened on SmackDown, my initial thoughts were, you're effing kidding me right now. They did not just do that to Cody Rhodes. Now, you and I remember that one day that we were sitting here talking. This was prior to the Royal Rumble, where we were talking about what the potential WrestleMania main event matches were going to be, right? And I had even said, like, okay, we're most likely going to be getting Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, and maybe we'll get Cody finishing his story at SummerSlam. And we had a whole conversation about that. Again, this was before the Royal Rumble. Once the Royal Rumble went down and Cody Rhodes won that and pointed to Roman Reigns, at that point, absolutely everybody and their mothers were expecting this match to be, quote, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. So I did not like on SmackDown the way that they had Cody Rhodes essentially give his WrestleMania match main event away. Now, based off of today, I feel that WWE is backtracking. I'm not sure, but that's the vibe that I got based on commentary, because they kept saying, oh, nothing's been decided yet. There's no official decision. And I'm like, are you guys backtracking on this? Because we all remember there was a specific line that Cody Rhodes said, not at WrestleMania. So why are we acting like he hasn't made a decision already? He said, not at WrestleMania. And I feel like they're just going to act like that was never said. And here's the thing. Like, I remember on Friday when I did my post show, Sean, and I might as well just get this out here right now. There were a couple of people saying, like, it's clear that this is being done to distract from Vince McMahon and all of the drama and controversy surrounding that. And I thought, yes, but at the same time, like, that is such a serious thing that we're not going to stop talking about Vince McMahon, right? Like, we're not going to stop talking about it. However, this weekend, everybody was talking about Cody and Roman and The Rock, and the conversation surrounding Vince McMahon and the allegations completely went down. So they kind of succeeded in getting people to not be talking solely about Vince McMahon. So coming off of this weekend, I'm starting to feel, and this is again just my feeling, is that I felt like this was just to get some attention off of the Vince McMahon situation. And that sucks.
It worked. I mean,
and it worked, which is unfortunate to say.
Not only that, it got mainstream coverage as well. Like, I saw people saying, oh, well, this could be, yeah, it could be. It could absolutely be something like that. But I can tell you that if that were the case, and again, if the element of work was happening, or if there's a pivot, I can tell you this was not the plan as of last week. And even then, the plans that happened last week weren't going to be the plans according to those people a week before. So much changed in rapid succession. From the week going into the Royal Rumble week, Cody Rhodes believed he was facing Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins believed he was facing CM Punk. CM Punk believed he was winning Elimination Chamber. Gunther believed he was facing Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar believed he was facing Dominic. Braun Breaker didn't have a goddamn plan on earth but to win the Dusty Classic. And all of a sudden, these situations start falling. And they're not dominoes that fall in according of each other. Brock Lesnar out because of the lawsuit. That's why. So that affects things for Braun Breaker. It affects things for Dominic Mysterio and Gunther. That's completely separate of everybody else. CM Punk gets hurt, and that adjusts things for Seth Rollins. However, the one that appeared to be left in the dark throughout this situation was Cody Rhodes about his plans. Because Seth Rollins is, I don't want to say falling up the stairs or anything, because a match with CM Punk would have been huge, objectively. But he's facing Cody Rhodes, one of the biggest stars in wrestling, period, right now, as is Punk. But it's sort of a wash for Seth Rollins, unless he doesn't get Punk or Cody Rhodes. So for him, there's a lot at stake here for the element of what he does for the main event of WrestleMania or his title match at WrestleMania. But there was not a lot of transparency here. I can tell you that much. And Fightful Select will have a lot more on this on Tuesday. Oh, man. Woolridge says, is Lesnar removed from the 2K24 game? He was in the build that we saw as of Royal Rumble weekend, but, they would not have had time to pull him from that as of yet. Omar Diaz says, any news if Jacob Fatu is going to join the Bloodline at WrestleMania, cost The Rock or Cody the match? I see it knowing Roman. First off, I want to say I've met Jacob Fatu a few months ago. He was wonderful. I'm shocked that he is out of his deal, but originally it looked like he was going to be signed until 2025, but he claims he is a free agent now. MLW still hasn't officially confirmed it with me. So maybe he's not. He said that it was his last date. And I don't know if that means free agency, but WWE has had the opportunity to sign him 2 or 3 different times and have passed for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of the robbery charge that he had when he was much, much younger, but by all means, it would appear that is in his past. I haven't heard of any trouble that's happened since then. He's well-liked within wrestling. He's great in the ring. He might be the second best member of that family in the ring right now. And that's saying something.
He's very, very good. I think everybody here who has seen him wrestle, you already know that. And if you haven't seen him wrestle, you're in for a lovely surprise.
Yeah. We got Tom saying, can you ask your question, then drop a hashtag we want Cody? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if anybody does that, I just want to say you're a fucking dork. At a press conference.
At a press? Oh, I thought he meant right now in the super chats. I was like, let them.
No.
Right.
If you want to do that in the super chats, by all means, I'm not making fun of you, buddy.
In the press conference?
I'm just saying. Well, listen, I know one person who would do that at the press conference. Kim Gray says, no official graphic for Rock Roman, but there is one for Bailey Io. Any hope at all that Cody doesn't get screwed? Yeah, I got a little bit of hope. And I see people saying, oh, maybe a triple threat. And I'm like, okay. That could kind of make sense in the element of The Rock was trying to wedge his way in. But other than that, Cody would have no beef with The Rock. And also, it wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense. And I feel like it would undermine both matches to make it a triple threat.
Yeah, because it definitely would undermine both matches because Rock Roman alone is your main event and vice versa with Cody and Roman Reigns. And then why would Cody Rhodes introduce a third person into his match if they were going to do a triple threat? So that doesn't make sense. And then also, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he said not at WrestleMania. And I'm going to get annoying with this because I feel like everyone's just like choosing not to remember that. And then based off what we got at the top of the show, I was under the assumption that we were probably going to be getting Drew, Seth, and Cody, right? Is that not what the vibe that we got based off of the opening segment?
I don't know yet. And we'll talk more about that later. Notorious Greg says, what do you both think is going to happen with Cody? I'm going to encourage Luis to take some of these that aren't necessarily about the promo and apply them to the end of the show as well to divide some of these, I think they'll have to end up working him in. Now, I just want to make this clear too. That is, when I say I think before something, it's not a report. So if you're one of those weenie accounts, it's like SRS said. No, SRS said I think. I think they'll have to pivot. I think they'll have to add him to the match some capacity. Denise.
I saw a couple people, by the way, suggesting that The Rock is going to end up being a referee in the match.
In fact,
I saw way too many people say that.
I will read a tweet from Steve at not Dr. Death, and it shows The Rock, and it says, "Oh, you thought The Rock was going to challenge you? Afraid not, tribal queef. The Rock's heart is only pumping at 23% this day, and no doctor worth a baboon's testicle is going to clear me. But I can count your ass down for the 1, 2, 3 if you smell la 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 la."
Baboon's testicle.
CC Bonbon says, how did Green Shirt Guy get into the Royal Rumble Q&A? Fightful Select reported this past weekend. It was a part of the on-location ticket packages that featured that as well. That's also how Denise got in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mr. Straight Fire said, Sean, I asked you a couple weeks before if Nia was returning the same September as The Rock's return. Then Nia beating Becky clean on day one. Ava being GM. If it was The Rock pulling some strings. You said no then. Have you changed your mind? No, I haven't changed my mind. I think that maybe some strings were pulled to impress The Rock or to make him think a little bit of something, but I don't think it was The Rock specifically pulling strings. I don't think The Rock is going to be like, hey, have Nia pin Becky Lynch. I think their plan was to have Nia beat Becky Lynch, then face Rhea at Elimination Chamber. Rhea's from there. Nia was born there. It makes sense.
Honestly, at this point, I just don't know anymore. I can't even, if we can get something like Cody and Roman changed, I don't think anything is off the tables now. I'm a conspiracy theorist now. I've changed
Also
personalities.
Does The Rock politicking to win make the Roman's title, the Hogan title, true? Kind of. I mean, that's something Seth can bring up too. He can be like, I warned you about the politics. Like, I told you this was going to happen. The big redhead says, based on all you know about the situation, public and private, is the Cody situation now a work or is it one to begin with? No, it wasn't one to begin with as far as he, Rollins, Punk, creative were concerned. If it is now, I don't know of it. I don't, as of Friday, I don't have that information. I know things are being discussed, though. Like, they're not just ignoring this. They're very clearly leaning into this. And I'm going to ask our moderator, Luis, again, to take a lot of these Cody super chats and put them in the main event match for us. But yeah, I don't think it was. I know it wasn't as of then.
Right. It feels like they're definitely milking this a whole lot. Specifically, they started milking it a lot on social media. They started milking it even 100 times more on Raw here today. We saw a lot of people with the "We won Cody," where everybody kind of had like the same little sign throughout. There were some people that had like their own like original signs, but we saw like the basic like white one with just the black font, like with a bunch of people. I feel that if they do backtrack on this, it's funny because there are going to be people that are going to be saying like, oh, this was a work the entire time. I don't. It was
not.
And it was not, but people are going to think that, and people are going to want to think that, so that, I don't know, for whatever reasons, they're going to want to think that, or at least say that it is.
New Lack City says, love how you guys continue to cover all news, including events, whether intentional or not. This Cody stuff came out at a point, it became and at some point became a total work because people are actually turning me off to the entire story, trying too hard, and the fans made it worse. So that's the first off. Yes, we will always continue to cover the Vince stuff. I saw people say, well, you should completely ignore this because of that. And I'm like, no, we still cover wrestling news. We'll still do that. Here's the wave that it always goes in. There are very passionate fans that are going to voice their opinion about Cody. Then there are people that are going to act like they're too cool to give a shit. Then there's going to be at least one weirdo that does the type of thing that happened today, making weird threats at Ava Raine. Then you're going to have a bunch of people act like everybody is a psychopath over it. Like, that's just the way it is. And then the people that were loud will be told to touch grass, etc., etc. It's a path that just it goes around every time. I saw it with the Yes Movement thing. I've seen it in the past. that train's never late.
Right.
Never.
Also, by the way, if they do backtrack on this and decide to do Roman and Cody, I won't be surprised if they start going with since we are a new regime and we're a new era, we listen to the fans.
Well, that's what Triple H said about CM Punk and about other, like before Survivor Series. So I'm going to give you guys a little inside baseball. So the call originally after Fastlane about Punk came from right outside of Triple H's office. Like, he was shocked he wasn't asked about Punk after the Fastlane press conference. And up until about 10 days before, even from him, it was a firm no. He did an interview the Wednesday before Survivor Series. Now, keep in mind, this was 2 days after I had told you, Denise, they had a conversation, right? Off the record. And I had asked the person who did the interview, did you ask about Punk? And he said, yeah. And what Triple H said was he had nothing to offer on that subject. And I was like, okay, it's a real possibility now, because he was very adamant about shutting it down before this conversation took place. And then it became, well, we listen to our fans. We want to deliver what the fans want, even if it's not something that necessarily reflects what we had planned. That's what happened with Punk. They didn't want him, didn't plan for him. Then they looked at it and they said, you know what? The fans want this an awful lot. Let's make it happen. And it ended up being good for them for the brief amount of time he was there. But so far, no negatives associated with that besides the unfortunate injury. I think that could happen here where they're like, you know what? We aren't the previous era where we booked to spite ourselves, which is what they did so often.
Yeah, so they kind of get like multiple wins from this, because it's like, one, you get people not talking about Vince McMahon. Two, you got more people rooting for Cody Rhodes because they feel sorry for what happened. Three, the part that you just mentioned right now about, them being like, oh, well, we give the fans what they want. And then four, more eyes on this press conference. So it's like they checked off all of these boxes.
Yep. Indeed. And let me tell you what checks off a lot of boxes. Nord.
How many times have you seen it? A big name wrestler gets hacked. They're trying to sell PlayStations or something on their Twitter. They need that NordVPN.com/Fightful. Not just for that, but all their sensitive files, their storyline information, their pitches, their private documents. You want NordVPN.com/Fightful to protect you when you're on the road or when you're at home. When you're at home, you can put it on your router. It protects everything. You can put it on your phone, laptop, desktop, PC. But on the road, whether you're at the hotel connecting to that Wi-Fi, the airport connecting to that Wi-Fi, the event center even, you want to have some protection for your devices, and NordVPN.com/Fightful does that. In addition, you shield your data from snoops and criminals, protect yourself on that public Wi-Fi, secure every device you own, and add extra layers of security to your digital life, in addition to all the great features we tell you about all the time. They also have 24/7 support if you need that help. NordVPN.com/Fightful.
We have barely gotten into the show. Nick DeVito says, just wanted to tell you guys that you do a great job with all the work you do. Best $5. And Denise, you're killing it with all the content you've been giving us. Thank you, and ignore the haters. Well, we appreciate you. Denise is killing it over on her channel. Did incredible numbers for her Royal Rumble stuff. Aaron Thompson sent in a blank super chat. Big thank you for that. Bad Robot says, the real big news tonight, Chelsea Green, Stooge #1, had her 2K model shown tonight, and she looks great. So listen, what we're going to do, because you guys are super chatting a lot about the Rollins, Cody stuff, we're just going to go back to it in between each segment. So there was a DIY getting a tag qualifier win in a killer match with New Day, Creed's Imperium. They get to face Bate and Dunn on Friday. I think Bate and Dunn are going to win. It's their show. DIY just had a title shot recently, so I think they're going to get the win. But this kicked ass. The Creeds are still like a little green, but I just love watching them kill people. It's so much fun to watch them just throw people with reckless abandon and watch them throw themselves with reckless abandon. I love this. This is the tag team wrestling I want.
This was the best match on Raw today, hands down. I'm sorry, but no other match came close to this one. This one had the most action. All the teams looked really good. And I know, like what you mentioned about the Creed brothers, I'm such a Creed brothers fan, man.
Me too.
that freaking Brutus ball gets me every
How good
damn
are they
time.
at media too? They're
The best.
They're all
the
good.
Best, the best. Like I literally feel like freaking Brutus is like the guy that you can have over, like chilling and watching like a game or something. And Julius Creed is like the guy that's gonna give you the best advice on how to move forward with your life. So but here's the thing though. You said you thought Tyler and Pete Dunne were going to win. I actually thought it was going to be, I am actually expecting it to be DIY.
Really?
Yeah, I have a feeling that this could be their push because the winner of that match goes on to face the champions at Elimination Chamber. And I'm kind of done with the Judgment Day and the tag team titles. And I feel like if we get the title, oh no, you know something. What was that face?
I don't know something. I'm just watching the show unfold, Denise. And
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm done with the Judgment Day being champion. So if DIY gets the belts, I'm happy about that.
I don't see them carrying them into WrestleMania. I see, because later on we'll cover this now. By the way, Elite Biscuit says pumped about DIY getting some real momentum, but The Miz defeated JD McDonough later on in the night because of R-Truth. Abraham Vallela says they're using my R-Truth genius angle. Of course they are, because it's a good angle. I think my prediction at WrestleMania is Awesome Truth defeating Judgment Day for the tag team titles. That's what I think is going to happen. So I think Judgment Day is going to beat Bate and Dunn at Elimination Chamber. I think they go on to Mania, and you've got this match. Everybody loves Truth. It's going to get an insane pop. It will be his WrestleMania moment. While Cody is off challenging the trash can that Nikki Cross dropped the 24/7 title in, R-Truth is going to get his big title win at Mania, I think.
All right. Well, since you painted that scenario, I guess you're right about that. You can toot your horn, Sean. I could feel it. Like you wanted to go, damn right.
Whoa.
I felt it. I felt you wanting to prove me wrong here.
Chill.
What?
God, Denise.
I could tell. You were like, yeah, shut up. I was right. My theory's so much better. Screw your prediction. Choo-choo.
Oh,
no, wait, yeah. Whatever. You guys know.
Yeah, I bet they do. Oh, Denise.
Y'all always have to make everything so dirty.
Me?
Yes.
Me?
Horrible in the gutter minds. That was not meant to be dirty. It's a common thing for people to say, toot your own horn. It's like common saying. I'm not saying toot your own horn. I'm saying toot your own horn.
That was flagrant, Denise.
No, y'all are. I'm gonna start cutting a you people promo. You people's minds are in the gutter.
Yeah, of course.
Get it out of the gutter. That wasn't meant to be dirty.
I hope not.
No.
I hope.
Okay. What do I gain from this?
I don't know, Denise.
Anyway,
continue on with the show.
Jonathan says, Denise, I don't want to hear any F-bombs since you like doing it on here. Do you think we'll see a WWE TNA partnership like a PLE? I would love to see a TNA versus WWE show. And the way that I had pitched it to Jordan Grace off the air was, what if, because, you know, there will be some people that'll be like, well, all the great TNA talent had since went elsewhere. Have AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley, quote unquote, cross the line and represent TNA. Have Naomi represent TNA on there as well. I think that could be really, really good.
Yeah, man, because after we got Jordan Grace at the Rumble, like, you know, that was a nice little tease, a nice little preview. I think we're going to want to see more for sure.
Avery Duncan says, remember the last time Judgment Day defended the tag titles on SmackDown? November. Are they ever going to split them? I think they should go towards having tag titles and trios titles instead, and they go across brands as opposed to splitting the tag titles, because they've got a lot of trios right now. They've got like 8 or 9 trios.
I don't care as long as they've spiced up this division, because they got so many great teams. I actually just feel like the Judgment Day as tag team champions is kind of holding back the division.
Tim says DIY should win the belts and split the belts. But like, how would they split the belts? They'd be the champions.
I don't know.
Unless it was for one set of titles. The Line Drive says, I want to note how fun is tag team wrestling in WWE. Like, look at a year ago. Night and day, I can see DIY win replicate their NXT booking.
Yeah, I just want like a tag team that's going to go out there and have like really great matches, and it's not just going to be everything that the Judgment Day has been doing. I'm over it already personally. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a hater.
We got Becky Lynch defeating Shayna Baszler. I thought this was a really fun match. They've got really good chemistry together. KE775 says, do you think the Elimination Chamber women's match is 3 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown? Yeah, I do. I think it will be 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. But I thought Becky and Rhea did a great job here. A physical match, one where they beat the shit out of each other, quite frankly. And Becky going to Elimination Chamber is what made sense to me, because that's who I think is going to face... That's who I think is going to face Rhea.
You called Shayna Rhea just now.
Oh, sorry.
And then you switched it, and then you forgot.
I've got Rhea.
I know
I've got
you got
Rhea
Rhea on the
brain.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because you're right. Because we're one step, hopefully, fingers crossed, closer to Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. Like, come on, we gotta get something that we really, really want. So for me, that's the match I want to see. I feel like we're one step closer. I'm curious because the next qualifier, by the way, that they announced is Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark. I was kind of conflicted because I want both of them in the Elimination Chamber. So I was like, damn, when I saw that they were wrestling each other, I was a little bit bummed because I want both of them in the match because, Zoe's such a good wrestler. And Liv Morgan, I love to see Liv Morgan get her due. And I do think she's going to be the one defeating Zoe Stark and getting a spot in the Elimination Chamber. There's no way she's not. But anyways, I kind of wanted them both in the chamber, not going to lie.
Liv Morgan does an interview. She says that, first off, she said that she missed a year of her career, which is not true. She's been like 6 months. 6 months. Not a year.
Maybe it felt like a year to her.
I was going to say not a year, not close to a year, but she's facing Zoe next week in an Elimination Chamber qualifier. Who does Dakota side with, Bayley or Io? Oh, I think it's going to be Io.
I don't know. It would hurt more if it was Io. So yeah.
Tim says, for Denise, Maida 4 should beat Judgment Day. She knows how much I hate Judgment Day. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Back to the Rollins promo. A. Clark says, the announcers gave me hope tonight, but the Drew attack seemed to solidify Cody in the Raw program. So yes, Drew attacked at the end of this, and backstage Pierce is like, I would have suspended you, or I would have he does fine him. He was like, I would not have let you go out there had I known. But commentary did make sure to say not official, not official. And N. Simmons says the Drew character is something special right now. I know he's supposed to be a heel, but he could end up being that top babyface tweener they've needed for a long time. So far, he hasn't said anything untrue, Denise.
Okay, so you know how we have The Rock as the people's champion? Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Drew McIntyre is the voice of the people.
He is.
I feel like everything he said, like when he was talking about Roman Reigns' match and how everyone knows the finish. And then he was like, then he told Seth, you already lost to Cody Rhodes 3 times. I was like, dang, I'm not detecting any lies here from Drew McIntyre. But did you see he quote retweeted his t-shirt, the one that he was wearing today with the Rip CM Punk. He quote retweeted it and he used CM Punk's own words when he says, I'm here to make money, not friends or whatever. I died when I saw that. Like every time I think that Drew McIntyre's social media game can't get any better, it does. The t-shirt was cool. His promo was hilarious. And I feel like I say the same thing every week about Drew McIntyre. So copy and paste the same exact thing I said last week. He's doing the best work.
And he says, despite cage rattling, they won't pivot. They're channeling this energy toward Rollins. They'll lay out a vague roadmap and hold off Cody Reigns to 41. If they hold off Cody Reigns to 41, they will erode a lot of goodwill. 1 year was enough. That 2 is egregious.
I don't want to be talking about this at WrestleMania 41.
Exactly.
I want to be talking about new people.
What the hell? He's going to win.
But new
win 3 in a row? 3 in a row? Come on.
Stop it. That would just be crazy. That's too much for me. It's too much.
Will Chisholm says, Michael Cole said that Bayley and Io is the main event, or is that WWE talk? It's WWE talk as of right now.
They've done that a few times where they will say like, oh, this is a main event. And it's They say a main event, not the main event.
Rhea versus Nia at Elimination Chamber, because Rhea comes out and she is mad, and Adam Pearce identifies that she is mad and says this is not the place, it's not the time, and Nia says it is the place and time, lays a beat down, but we're gonna get that. That seemed like common sense. Like I said, Rhea's the big star from there. Nia was born there. It makes an awful lot of sense to me. The Line Drive says better Twitter game, Dijak or Drew.
Oh, Drew by like a long shot.
I think Drew short term, but Dijak does this all the time. So I'd say it's a toss-up at any given time.
I'm going right with Drew now because there's more visibility and more, it's so newsworthy and funny and new. So that's why I'm going with Drew.
Tom, I know you were joking, buddy. He says, I was joking about dropping We Want Cody. Does TKO think they can avoid the Vince news till after Mania? They can't avoid the Vince news. They know they can't. They know that with the level of stuff that has been revealed and will be revealed about Vince, they can't avoid it.
Right. I mean, her lawyer has literally said now on multiple occasions that they have a barrage of all of this, like, people coming forth and people providing information. She even said more possible victims, and they're just like weaving through all of this paperwork and stuff, whatever it is that they have to get through to get all of that information out there. So I won't be surprised, like, if we just keep getting more and more, and then come WrestleMania, like I'm kind of, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of expecting that same dark cloud that was over Royal Rumble to be going on at WrestleMania as well.
Erwin asks about Drew's contract, says he's been killing it on Raw, has almost been the focal point. No way he hasn't signed a new contract, right? I mean, they're setting up stuff for months and months and months down the line. So it would make an awful lot of sense. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to believe that he's not signed, but I haven't got that confirmed. SummerSlam Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz, Cody takes the title. So here's where we are, Denise, to where people are fantasy booking the locations of events to make sense of some shit because WWE didn't make it make sense. And no, your donation did not get skipped. We put it in the appropriate section. None of them get skipped, just so you know. We're getting to them as we get to them. Jonathan Corona says, we know Mercedes is going to AEW. Do you think ticket prices will drop or bring more fans to AEW, not selling good tickets and seats? I think having a guy like Koshe Irby will probably bring them down to earth. I think they'll have a much better business plan for live events now. And speaking of women's wrestling, the Rossi Ogawa news dropped. Now, I can tell you at least the word around AEW and New Japan this past week. They thought that Rossi had been working with WWE or is planning to work with WWE in some capacity. He says it's to start his own promotion, in which somebody in New Japan said, don't be surprised if that ends up feeding talent to WWE. But there's a lot of people asking about the vignette last night, the Three Faces vignette. Could it be Nakajima? Could it be Julia? Corey Brennan was told it's not Julia, as she is under a contract right now, but it definitely got people talking. Isaac wants it to be either Bo Dallas or Okada. I'd be shocked if it were Okada going to NXT. I'd be shocked if it were Bo Dallas too. But you know what? If Bo Dallas wanted to wrestle, he's got history in NXT. He was NXT champion. But yeah, I think that, I don't know who it is. I want to make that clear. But I think if it were him, that'd be kind of cool. And I think he would get a good ovation and good buzz.
Yeah, I'm not even going to fancy the idea of it being Okada going to NXT. I'm not even going to waste oxygen on that.
Jay Miller says, do you think Punk will actually do commentary, and will he come to Perth, says Daniel. I think that'd be a good way to get him to Perth, but it's a matter of how the healing process is. I don't think that they would. Go ahead.
I was going to say, traveling all the way to Perth with the torn triceps. Yikes.
Exactly. Still think it's a Tien Shaw reboot. I think they had a hit, an absolute hit with Wendy Chu. I thought that it worked really, really great. And I don't, unless it was something like next level with her where they continue to do the Wendy Chu thing, but like have her do the other stuff as well. I can't imagine that. But I mean, it'd be all right. Will says, with the Rossi drama and Stardom with some deals being up, Can you see more women joining WWE with Julia? Assuming she does. But yeah, I could. Probably to NXT. I don't know if they're looking to add to the main roster there, though. Nicholas says, with Rossi starting a new promotion, can you see WWE working with them or even be the financial backers? Financial backers, not necessarily. Sharing some talent and possibly working together, I could see that. Ryan says, All Japan had a similar situation of suspecting talent poaching around when Dempsey visited from NXT. Now this with Rossi plus Julia not wanting an agent. Is it crazy to think this has a WWE link, NXT Japan? I mean, funny enough, CM Punk accused Charlie Dempsey's dad of doing that in AEW. He accused William Regal of doing that in AEW. So I don't think that's crazy to think at all. At all. Well, WWE still seems to be on the Valhalla and Maxine wrestling train. I want to preface this by saying Maxine's wonderful. She's such a nice person. She's great to do media with. They've had her working live events this past weekend, which is good. In the ring, it's not there yet. And that's it. It's not there yet. And I wish they would stop putting her in positions to be exposed like that. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives.
Not just that, but like in a position to like get hurt and injure herself, because Maxine has so many great qualities. She's so funny. She's a super, super cute. I feel like they should probably, in the meantime, keep her more on the comedic side, keep doing all of that, what she's doing, and in the background, have her work on her pro wrestling, because it's just one too many times that this is happening. Like in the Rumble, when she got eliminated, oh my God, I was so scared. I thought she blew out her knee when she landed.
That spot in the ring, that head scissors was bad, man.
Yeah, and so it's like now, she can, you don't want to see anybody hurt themselves. So it's a matter of not just protecting yourself, but also protecting the talent that's in there with her, as well as protecting her as well. And now when you have so many girls right now showing out the way that they are on NXT, you can't really have that situation with Maxine and Valhalla on the main roster.
And somebody's saying maybe being green is a part of her on-screen gimmick. I mean, it kind of is, but I mean, they're selling for this offense is the thing.
It's to a certain extent. To a certain extent, they can say like, "Oh, she's green, this and that." But then there comes a point where we all like, we're not dumb, we know what a botch is. We know,
Valhalla and Ivar won that, and by all means, keep getting her reps at live events. Have her work NXT some, for the love of God. By all means. Crazy 101 says latest thing you've heard about Okada. It's that everything was still in play, but that was last week. Born to Run says would be rad to see WWE wrestlers pop up on TNA for a few weeks. I think Natty and Chad Gable would be great for that. Any others you want to see? I want to see Steve Maclin in NXT. He spent years of his life at that performance center, and there's a real story to be told there about as soon as he left the performance center, he got cut, then he became a world champion. I think that would be really, really good. Daniel, but from WWE over there, definitely Natalya. That's one. I would like to see Ivy Nile in TNA. I would love to see Ivy Nile against Jordan Grace. I think that'd be good. Somebody says, so we aren't talking about them muting the crowd during the main event? We haven't gotten to the main event yet, buddy. Daniel Brown says, this could be a really crazy super chat. Don't remember the health issue Triple H had. Could we see Cody Triple H at Mania? Nope. No chance of that. Triple H retired. He has a very serious health issue. Not an option. Michael says, expecting Dakota Kai to team up with Bayley until Mania, then betray her, officially then cost Bayley the title, continuing Io's reign, and set up a returning Dakota Kai as a big heel. I would like that, but I think that I feel like Dakota has been telegraphed as this devious ringleader the whole way. She's the one who brought everybody in, Denise.
I thought she was the one behind all of this from like the very beginning. So I feel like that's like the swerve to go with, is that it was her all along. Because right now they're making it seem like, oh, Bailey said how she picked up some Japanese and she started to pick up what they were saying about her. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how does this include? What does this mean for Dakota Kai? She wasn't there. And I think they left her off for a specific reason.
Yep. Line Drive wants Dragunov versus Alexander. Oh, me too,
boy.
buddy.
That would be like...
Me too, buddy.
I would just like hand over my bank account and be like, here, just take it. Here's my account and here's my checkings and routing number.
K775 says, do you think Drew is re-signed with the company? I feel like he is. I can't report that he has. I can't report that. Sheldon says, thoughts on when every time Rhea and Nia meet up, Nia ends up on top of Rhea. Are they trying for Rhea to be a baby face for Elimination Chamber? Absolutely. She's going to be the baby face at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, there's no way. She's going to get cheered like no other.
WWE has been no-selling the Rossi stuff because they're like, there's no way they're going to comment necessarily on that right now. Eddie says, I super chatted 3 times Friday. Any word on what you think about the press or Mania for main event? Bought third row tickets for $5,000 for Cody to finish the story. I don't want Roman on top again. If they go with Cody not winning that title somehow, I think it's going to lead to a lot of disdain, a lot of sort of fatigue with the audience, Denise. I don't think it's going to go well.
On the bright side, though, since it is The Rock and let's just say that you want your money back because you just wanted to see Cody and Roman, I'm pretty sure you can probably sell your tickets. I don't know. I'm assuming you can.
Yeah.
Probably. If you wanted to. I don't know.
DDM says, I think Maxine makes a great valet. They are setting her up for something. I miss valets and managers in WWE. Maxine gives me Divas era vibes. Yeah, and she's very good at that stuff. She's got charisma. She's very charming. She's likable. She's really great at media. She looks like $1 million. Just needs to be there in the ring. Cadillac Carson says LA Knight and TNA would be intriguing. Yeah, it was for the several years he was there.
I feel like that would probably, I don't know, that's something that I would want, like work all these years to get to WWE, and then I'm there and I'm getting my moments and they're like, oh, hey, B2W, you're going to be on TNA again. I don't know.
It'd be cool if he came and did a special Facts of Life on there like he used to do with the dummy button. I think that'd be cool.
But not like permanently or often,
No. Kabuki Warriors defeated Katana and Kaden. I don't know how to say this, but I can just say it. It feels like Kyrie is not like the energy hasn't quite been there. Like there's been some cool spots and all that. I love her work, but of late, I just haven't seen the same type of stuff that I was seeing first off in Japan, but her first run either. Not to say this match was bad or anything. I really, really want to see her kick it into the next gear because one, I know she can. She's incredible. But Kabuki Warriors get the win here. This was a foregone conclusion. Katana and Kaden were not going to win these titles back. I'm more interested in the direction moving forward for the women's titles. Where do you think that goes?
So first of all, your comments on Kyrie, I wonder if it's just mainly because she's not really like a featured person right now in Damage Control. Like it's mainly about Io and
she's
Bailey
a tag
and
champ,
Dakota.
though.
I know, but it's still not like she's, I don't know, like in terms of the story, she's just there. She's a tag champ, but that just happened though. It just happened. I don't feel like they've given them, like they kind of just have her giggling in the back and that's it. That's all she's been doing. And I feel like that's probably part of the reason why, I don't know, maybe in ring, I can't explain it though, but in terms of like the characters and the storylines, they're just having her in the background.
What did you think of the match? Anything?
The match itself went straight forward. It was probably there was a moment, like that's the thing, like Kaden and Katana, they have some pretty cool moments and I like to see it, but I think that this one, like you said, was a foregone conclusion where everybody already knew what was going to go down, so there wasn't too much to add about it. But I will say this though, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad match at all. I actually kind of found myself like enjoying this one. I definitely enjoyed it way more than what we saw earlier with Valhalla and Maxine and all that they did there. I enjoyed that a lot more. That was it.
Not a foregone conclusion. The Intercontinental title program that's about to kick off.
This was the best thing on Raw.
Oh, I loved it.
Can I just say the best thing out of everything?
Jey Uso interrupts Gunther's reign, and Vic says, haven't heard them mention this stat on TV yet, but Gunther is 2 weeks away from passing Pedro Morales as the longest reigning IC champ ever as far as total days. That is accurate. We've got an article that actually I need to send in to our team to have that drafted up for them. But Jey Uso is there to interrupt the celebration. I liked the back and forth there, and Gunther was like, yeah, we're a great tag team champion, and it's a good thing because you only had to do half the work.
Yeah.
Unlike me, it was really, really good. Jey Uso is so likable. Now you've got Pat McAfee giving him the special treatment by jumping up on the table and dancing along with his music. This is something I'm very excited for. I feel like this will be on a Raw as opposed to an Elimination Chamber, but God, I can't wait for this match because I look at this and I'm like, well, I think Jey can win. I think Jimmy's going to cost him the title, but this is a legit threat for Gunther, and I think the match is going to rule.
I hope this isn't on Raw. I actually want it to be on Elimination Chamber. I think Jey deserves the respect to have this match on a platform that's, it's a PLE. It's a big show.
I would
think that's the match. Oh, that's why I keep forgetting about that. Damn.
I don't know. That always changes at some point, but I don't know if he can. But I'm stoked for this. Almost as stoked as I am to get a full night's sleep, Denise. With Helix. When I'm traveling, the thing I miss the most is my bed. That's because I've got a Helix Sleep mattress. I worked with Helix Sleep before it ever became helixsleep.com/Fightful. During the pandemic, I needed a new mattress. My back was hurting. I was sleeping on a slab of memory foam. It was not working for me, but I didn't want to go to a mattress store. I wouldn't have wanted to even if it was the pandemic at the time. But I looked up and found helixsleep.com/Fightful. And I found a ton of 5-star reviews. I found a ton of benefits. There are so many different options. There are options for people who sleep too warm, people that want their spine aligned, people who want just anything. And how do you find what you need from helixsleep.com/Fightful? You take an online questionnaire, and when you fill it out, they will find your preferences and match you up to the mattress that works for you. I got the Dusk Luxe model, and right now you can get 25% off any purchase for a limited time using the code FIGHTFUL, and you get 2 free dream pillows. I've had a lot of neck issues, and helixsleep.com/Fightful has really helped me out in this regard. It's been put over by Wired, GQ, Good Housekeeping, all kinds of people, most importantly, Fightful. But they have over 30,000 5-star reviews. They have great flexible financing plans, and it comes straight to your door. If you don't like it, after 100 nights, they'll just come get it for you. What do you have to lose? Invest in your sleep. helixsleep.com/Fightful. I just want to say thank you guys for showing out with all these super chats. This Vegas trip is not for free, that much I tell you, so I appreciate any donations that you guys have sent in. You can send those in here at youtube.com/Fightful or humperchats.com. Byron Taguchi says, the last few weeks justifies my annual subscription. Yeah, you can subscribe to Fightful Select for just $54 a year, not to diminish any other services, but that'll get you about 4 or 5 months at other places. So check it out, $54 a year, $5 a month, FightfulSelect.com. Any words on the 2024 Hall of Fame class? None, Seth. I'm so sorry. I want Bill Apter to join in Philadelphia really, really badly. DeCourcy says, seems like Punk is still a part of the advertising for Elimination Chamber on the Australian broadcast. I know that doesn't mean much, though. I'll see what I can find out. Patrick, listen, I don't want to. What I don't want to do is read a super chat that basically fantasy books somebody being implicated in a lawsuit, but I'll say I appreciate you saying that we made a big impact on wrestling media, but you ask if HBK could take over main roster booking. Could Punk take over NXT? I don't think they would have Punk pegged for that yet. I think that's something that Punk would probably like to do long term, though, because he seemed to enjoy his time there.
By the way, Shawn Michaels did a good job in his media call.
He did.
I just wish he wasn't asked this. I wasn't on the call, by the way, but I just wish he wasn't asked the same question over and over.
Well, my question didn't get picked up on the audio because my mic was muted on my software, but not to him. And specifically, my question was, you are overseeing a company that has a lot of vulnerable talent and susceptible talent, and vulnerability was specifically something that Vince McMahon mentioned in that lawsuit. How do you go about protecting them? And I thought he answered it very, very well. I thought he did a great job.
I heard your question, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, I did hear your question. It was
you
on
heard
the
it
audio.
On somebody else's audio, not on the Fightful audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it. I was like, wait, I heard your voice.
Yeah.
Weren't you like the first question?
I was shocked. Yeah. Debo Ghost says, will Sammy be added to the World Heavyweight Championship match at Mania? So let's talk about this shit, Denise, because it was good. Sammy, which, by the way, production on Raw has been so much better.
The walking, talking promos, the one that Becky did today, I was a fan of that. And the one that Shayna did when she was getting ready.
That, the arrival videos, even the little thing like Drew being backstage with Adam Pearce and Adam Pearce discovering that Rhea was coming out by watching the screen and Drew being like, look, bro, it is so fresh. It is so different. For so long. You know, one of the things before Eric Bischoff ever went to work for WWE again in like 2019, I did an interview with him, and it was something that he said that really stood out. He said that when they did Nitro, he wanted it to feel spontaneous. Like when you watched it, even though you knew it was a scripted show, you believed anything could happen. And WWE had gotten so sanitized that you no longer believed that anything could happen. Look back at the Roman Reigns attack story, for example, where they had so many cameras set up in this one spot.
Oh, yeah.
It was overdone. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like it's a spontaneous broadcast, but a professional broadcast. And they're not doing a lot of their tricks. Like, hey, they're not doing as many camera cuts. We're going to see some strikes get missed. But you know what? I'll take that over cut. And this was a great piece of production where Sami Zayn talked about how he's been on a losing streak. He has not won a singles match in a very long time, Denise. And he talked about how when he lost at Elimination Chamber, Triple H told him that he was Rocky. And that Rocky had this incredible moment and went the distance with the champion, but did not win in the first movie. He did down the line, though. And right now, Sammy's trying to figure out how to get back to that. I can tell you one thing, Denise. If they end up going Cody and Roman, I think that Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the workhorse title is exactly the type of match that would kill it at WrestleMania.
And what about Cody?
He faces Roman Reigns. And you might say, what about The Rock? Who gives a shit?
Okay.
I'll tell you what he can do. That's what
so you're saying yes, referee?
Referee. Get your wind. Okay. Get your legs beneath you, young man.
Here's my question, Sean. And this is what I want you to go and work hard and do your little scoops. And I want to see this on Fightful Select. Do you think CM Punk is finally walking movies?
No.
Go find out. Go do some little awesome people.
I will. I'll find out. I'll find out for sure. He doesn't talk to me as much these days for obvious reasons. But I think that probably brings up bad memories for him. You know, it's not a positive thing, but the Sammy stuff freaking ruled and I loved it. Will says, love the new production with the camera and promos. That Sammy promo was great.
I liked the zoom in shots on his face and he's like looking all sad.
Yeah.
Kind of sold it a little bit more. I like the peaceful vibe where it's an empty building and they're just having a conversation. I like this. This was good. I think the last time they did it was with wasn't it with Kevin Owens and Kathy Kelly when they did this a couple weeks ago? And then before that, they had done it with somebody else. I don't remember who, but it was also Kathy. So this is kind of, I feel like the first time that they've recently done it on Raw, maybe. Either way, I liked it. It was good stuff.
Indeed.
And I think that the other thing, the big thing to point out here, and Sami Zayn pointed it out, obviously, was this sort of like fall from heaven, where it's like you compare where he was at the last Elimination Chamber, which he spoke about, and then being here, going into this Elimination Chamber, not really having anything on the horizon. I don't know. I liked that, but then at the same time, I didn't, because I don't think that Sami Zayn should have had a fall from heaven. I think that he should have been, they should have kept the whole time. Just Sami Zayn's the shit, and I want them to keep going with him.
I think he could lead to an out of nowhere great story. Patrick says, didn't 2K24 bring back guest ref matches? They sure did. And tonight, WWE brought back a bull rope match, supposedly the bull rope that Dusty Rhodes used. Good match, fun match. We knew the ending of the match, and almost nobody is talking about the match, even though it was a good match. What people are talking about is Blast Off the Line saying they muted the crowd during the bull rope match. Have you heard anything on if they adjusted mic volumes during main event at all with Rocky Sucks chants? Funny, I mentioned them manipulating audio, and everybody on Twitter's an asshole to me. Now all of a sudden people notice it? What? Now all of a sudden, by the way, they absolutely tried to cover it up with production at NXT this weekend from Clarksville, Tennessee, when they were booing The Rock. They absolutely tried to adjust that. Does this surprise you? Do you think they're doing it so people will notice it? Do you think that they're leaning into it intentionally, or do you think this was an effort for them to try to cover it up?
Why would they? They were milking it the whole entire show. Exactly. And then all of a sudden they're not. All of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, we changed our mind at the last minute of the show. What?
Exactly.
No,
Cody gets the win.
To get us talking. And look at us. We're talking.
Sheldon says, can't believe tonight was the first bull rope match on Raw or SmackDown since Batista retained the title against JBL in September 9th, 2005. You know what? I can believe that, actually, because I remember that match. I do remember that match. Cody gets the win, and because of the mist that Nakamura spit in his face, it looked like he was in his father's bull rope match. It looked like he was bleeding all over himself. But everybody still wants to talk about.
Are we done, though, by the way, with Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody Rhodes? Like, this is over.
We better
now,
be.
Right?
We better be.
Sean, I'm sorry. I wasn't into this bull rope match. I didn't think anything. I thought it was your regular, ordinary match. I didn't think that it was the type of match that you would want, considering the stipulation. And I'm sorry, but I feel like if you're going to do this, like, you need to have these matches need the violence. They need the gruesomeness of it all. And the mist isn't going to fool anybody. It's not going to fool anybody.
I love the bull rope match because I love bull rope matches, love strap matches, love
but
all
not
that
this
stuff.
Particular. I think this one could have been a zillion times better. This was like the PG Chuck E. Cheese version of a bull rope match.
So, I mean, I guess. But I feel if they would have done this, I feel like if they could have done this before this match, they could have done it at the end of their last match, it would have been fine. So,
well, anyways, I'm done with Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura. Done.
Orlando Orrego says Triple H just retweeted Cody versus Roman with Rock as a special guest. Seems like that's the direction. So that isn't what happened. What he did was he retweeted George Kittle of the 49ers during NFL Media Week for the Super Bowl, saying that's what he wanted. And Triple H says the people's tight end knows what's up. They're playing into it. They're playing into it now. They're trying to play it cool, like, oh, we're such smart guys. Okay.
So did he retweet him because it was George Kittle, or did he retweet him because it was like, oh, hint, hint, this is what we're going to do?
No, he's retweeting him because it's the NFL talking about his thing.
Okay.
Any chance they announce Mania coming to Vegas for 41 or 42 during this Thursday's presser? Yeah, I do think there's a chance they could do that. So Fightful Select has reported in the past that Cleveland and Minnesota were the front runners for SummerSlam and Mania, respectively. A lot has changed since then. A whole lot has changed since then, and I find it unusual that those locations hadn't been announced. Vegas would make a lot of sense for WrestleMania.
Please. I'm sorry to all the East Coast people, but I'm done going to the East Coast.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm tired. My back hurts. I want to go
what?
places that are close to my house.
You know what I'm going to do, Denise?
What?
If they schedule WrestleMania there, I am going to get divorced, then remarried to my current wife the day after WrestleMania. That way, when you drive to WrestleMania, you will then need to fly to the middle of nowhere, just like I had to fly to LA from Nashville. I was so happy to drive my sweet little ass down to Nashville. I was like, oh, I'm going to get to go home. I'm going to get to drive home that night. No, Denise's wedding was the next day. So I flew.
To be fair, I announced my wedding before they announced SummerSlam, okay? Like 2 years before.
And it was the first time they ever did one in July. But still.
Yeah, like who the fuck was going to know that there was going to be a wedding in July? I mean, sorry, a SummerSlam in July. Like nobody knew that.
I was pissy, bro. Pissy. Sean, are you going to play any games in Vegas? You know what?
Boring. You don't play games, Sean.
I'm sorry. When have we hung out in Vegas?
I know you. You don't put dressing on your salad. You ain't going to play games.
What games are you going to play, Denise?
Oh, I gamble all the time when I'm in Vegas. I have a limit. Yeah. Haven't you seen my gambling tweets? I post them up. First of all, I do a bunch of things. I go gamble. I play the little games. I go to the sports book. I put some little bets on there. Are you kidding me? I have a good time, man. I walk around. I jump from casino to casino. Well, I don't jump, but I tour the casinos.
Denise.
I vibe. I have a good time.
You're telling me I don't play games? Oh, really?
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about betonline.ag, the official betting partner of Fightful. It's not just an online platform. They've been trusted for over 25 years. They boast a focus on the player approach and have built their reputation on offering their clients nothing but the best. From cutting-edge technology to enticing promotions and the latest sports betting odds. Whether it be wrestling, MMA, boxing, or football, baseball, basketball, or racing, anything you can think of. All major sporting events are covered by betonline.ag. Fast payouts, highest credit card acceptance industry-wide, safe and secure online environments, and their live betting feature allows you to bet on your favorites weekly and easily and in real time. betonline.ag. That's where we're going at Fightful. That's where we suggest you go as well. That's where we get all of our odds at. betonline.ag. Only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly.
We will ask our moderator, Luis, to please refresh the Humper chats as well. We've still got quite a few super chats, so we got some time left here. For Carolina, she says, for WWE TNA, I would love to see Shelly Rollins. That would be a good one. I wonder if they face each other on the Indies. Vicky says, hi, SRS and Denise, money for Vegas. LA Knight versus Logan, I hope. That was being planned at one point. I don't know if it still is. Says LA needs to get a good match. Fightful's the best 5 in the business. Thank you, Vicky. I did get your email. I meant to reply to it, Vicky. I hope that I see you in Greensboro as well for Sting's final match. Are you going to Greensboro, Denise?
Yes.
I'll see you there. Isaac says, would be cool if they did a segment with some ECW originals at Mania with Dreamer, RVD, and the Dudleys since they're in Philly. Maybe for like SmackDown or something like that. I think that they'll probably, it's been 23 years, man. Been 23 years. WWE presser is going to be bigger than Super Bowl media day, says Mr. Acosta. I mean, as soon as they announced it, I knew it was something I had to attend. Eric says, if it was up to me, I'd pull a Russo and do a Bash at the Beach 2000 at WrestleMania. Doing a Russo in any capacity is never something that I would recommend no matter what. Unless you mean just completely erase yourself from everybody's memory, have nobody care about you, respect you, like you, or value anything that you say. Knock Bogan says, yes, my question to you is at this fine press conference, why have you not fired Velveteen Dream yet? Rock Hard says, if Rock is considered plan B if Triple H is out, do you know what a Rock run WWE would even look like? Do he and Triple H have similar views on wrestling and are similarly liked backstage? I don't even know I don't even know if The Rock follows anything. I would imagine Brian Gewirtz would be involved pretty heavily in that, but I don't even know if he follows the show. to be honest with you. I have no idea. Jonathan Corona says, Sean and Denise, be careful in Vegas. Rainstorm SoCal has got. Vegas rain because of the storm. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. It's going to be colder in Vegas than it is here.
I'm driving to Vegas. It's my first time driving alone. Usually, I've driven before, but always with somebody. This is my first time driving alone. I'm really excited, but I hope that the roads are not like wet.
Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats. We've got Chris saying, I guess it's Aussie versus Aussie at Elimination Chamber in Perth with Rhea and Nia. I worry this crowd will not be as big as the Melbourne Super Showdown show was. WWE seemed pretty confident in their ticket sales a while back. They seemed pretty confident in it. Will says WWE finally feels the sports base now. Michael Cole saying it's 1996 with the Rocky Sucks chants popped me. That was good. Were you surprised we got Rocky Sucks chants?
I was, honestly, because it's not like The Rock is someone who is very much, I would say, liked. Like, he's The Rock. Who doesn't like The Rock? Damn. So hearing Rocky Sucks is like, oh shit, that's a throwback.
Even Seth was like, I didn't expect to hear that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Michael says, do you think the Mania press conference being open to the public is a bad idea? I'm assuming fans will try to overtake it with boos and Cody chants.
No,
there's nothing they won't be prepared for now, Denise.
I'm sorry. I like chaos. So I would actually be like really excited if something like that went down. But I think when they did the Floyd Mayweather freaking match for WrestleMania here in LA, I went to the press conference as a kid. And I remember, I think it was free. At least I don't think we had to pay for a ticket or anything. But I remember it being like the coolest thing ever because Floyd Mayweather threw money into the crowd. So then everybody like threw themselves to get like dollar bills. But like, since I was a little girl, my uncle was like, no, you're not allowed. So he didn't let me go into the crowd. Like, I was already about to throw myself into like this mosh pit of like grown ass dudes trying to get cash. But like, I was about to go and my uncle pulled me back and he was like, no, like you can't go in there. And I was like, God damn, I was so pissed because I'd be seeing all these people pick up like bills and stuff. I don't know what. I was a kid. That's my memory of that. So I think it was free. I don't know.
Thank you for that. Zombie Boss says Rock eats corn the long way.
I'm just saying that was the last time I went to a free press conference. Like, you know what I mean? Like as a fan.
Rock to Roman. I will take your title, the title of Tribal Chief. Night 1, Rock versus Roman. Night 2, Cody versus Roman. Roman loses everything. I'll tell you why the answer to that is no. The Rock cannot take that from Roman. The Rock is not that. The Rock should be losing to Roman Reigns. No. And also, if he beats Roman, it ain't that big of a deal if Cody beats Roman. I mean, it's still a big deal, but not as big of a deal.
Cody already foreshadowed the ending on SmackDown. He said that he was going to come afterwards, like for him, once he had already taken everything from him. He basically insinuated that he was still going to have the championship bout after he faced The Rock.
Yeah. Zombie Boss says, I want that Drew shirt from tonight. That's up for sale. Alex Smith sends a monster super chat. Alex, thank you so much. Sincerely, we really appreciate you. He says, where does this leave the winner of the men's chamber? By the way, I'm a big fan of both of you guys. Thank you for what you do. Well, thank you very much for that super chat. That means an awful lot. So we don't even know right now what the men's chamber is for or if there is a men's chamber at this point.
There's got to be a men's chamber.
If Gunther can't go, hold on.
For Gunther's title.
If Gunther can't go over there, it's not going to be for the IC title. It'll be for a shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For a shot at Gunther.
Hold on. Women's stuff, it looked like they were setting up all their tag teams. Well, they've got their chamber match now. They've got too many challengers for the titles right now. We're speculating Sammy and Drew and Cody and Rock and all these people. So what do you think it would be for?
The Intercontinental Championship, yeah. For sure. Why not?
You mean a shot at it?
Yeah, for a shot. Excuse me. Sorry, I keep insinuating that. But yes, for a shot. And whoever wins the men's elimination chamber to go on to face Gunther at WrestleMania. That's what I'm trying to say.
And who would you have win it?
Personally, I've been rooting for Bronson Reed for the longest time.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, especially there. Braun Breaker, I think, would be a good option.
Yeah, of course. That would be really cool, too.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. You know who I wouldn't mind seeing Gunther face at WrestleMania under the right circumstances?
Who?
Goldberg.
Oh.
And by that, I mean I would want him to crush Goldberg in about 3.5 minutes.
I wasn't expecting that answer from you.
I think it would be good to watch him just obliterate Goldberg, be like, see you later, Gramps. Peace out.
And that'd be his official last match or what? Because wasn't he really mad that Vince promised him like a big retirement match or something? He said it in an interview, didn't he?
He wouldn't be any happier about that.
But at least you'd get a WrestleMania match against a champion that matters.
Yeah.
Things could be worse. You could face Baron Corbin at WrestleMania.
Yes, Will. WWE is selling the shirt that Drew had. Jonathan says, Sean, bet on the Super Bowl in Vegas. Imagine Moose versus Reigns, or Cody or Jade versus Grace, or Rhea in TNA. But does Scott want a partnership with WWE? Yeah, of course. They made it work for Jordan Grace. So yes, they absolutely do. Let's get through these super chats and humper chats. Anti and Brick says men's elimination chamber will have to be for the U.S. championship. Think they could do cool spots with Logan, have KO, Theory, Waller, etc. And Denise.
Bro, it took me like a second right now. I was like, who's the U.S. champion? I was like, Logan Paul.
I think having him on the show, considering they've lost Brock being on the show, they've lost CM Punk wrestling on the show, they're not going to have Roman wrestling on the show. I think that adding a Logan Paul would be something, it would be good. I think Logan Paul would probably do crazy shit in that chamber. Yeah. So I kind of like that idea. I think U.S. title.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I don't hate it.
Tom says, Cody storms the press conference, punches Rock, Dustin bites Roman, Cody's dog bites Solo. Tom says, Sean, I asked a few weeks about WWE holding an event around the Super Bowl. Do you think this presser is a test? Why Vegas, not Philly? Well, Vegas, because it's Super Bowl. They want the sports presentation. They want that audience. They want that.
All the media's already there. Like everyone's there, like starting like within the last couple of days. Tomorrow's like their big event. It's like literally everyone and their mother is there.
It is free coverage for WWE that isn't about Vince McMahon. Do you think WWE will hold a PLE at Soldier Field anytime soon? Nope, I don't. It's crazy how every year Roman, Max, Seth all hold the title. Are amazing. I don't quite get that one. Don't quite get that one. Oh, Roman, Mox and Seth hold a title. Are all amazing. Samantha says, for the people that are seeing threats going towards Ava, please report it. Yes, absolutely. And if you watch this show, never make a threat, a physical threat towards anybody over anything wrestling related, period. That's weirdo shit. Don't do that. Samantha says, I understand being mad, but this is not the way to go. It's disgusting. And definitely, if you're following us, that is not the type of community we want. Lucky Geo says Rock will be Cody's manager or the ref. Perhaps. Alex says, if Rock and Roman happen, will the fans cheer Roman and boo The Rock? That's an interesting question, Denise. Do you think Roman would get
They're going to cheer Roman because they want Roman to win so that Cody could finish his story.
Yeah.
So he would get booed. Oh, my God.
Rock Hard Joel Wood says it's time. What percentage do you give Cody of getting a title shot at Roman? 50%. 50% right now. Aaron says, quite interesting how WWE has become self-aware with the fans' backlash in record time. If this were the Vince regime, would they have just ignored it until Mania got closer? Yes.
No, I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, you're saying Vince ignoring it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant the fans ignoring it.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Vince wouldn't give a damn.
Vince tried to ignore it for like 6 or 7 months with Bryan Danielson. Patrick says, Cody didn't say anything tonight. Has he responded to you since Friday? If it wasn't a work, it is now. They passed out signs supposedly. Now, I want to make this clear. There is no evidence, despite what has been reported, that WWE passed out these signs. There's no picture or video. There's nobody that said specifically, WWE gave me this sign. There are reports of people passing out signs, including one fan who admitted that it was him.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, because when I know that, I mean, you can show up with like 100 of those and pass them out to people.
Yes, you're allowed to do that. Yeah. Jay Miller says Logan Paul, U.S. title chamber. Yep, I think so. Alex Smith says, I never want to see Goldberg in a wrestling ring again. Understandable, for sure. By the way, guys, if you want your questions or statement read on the air, super chats, humper chats, that is the way to do it, my friends. KE775 says, I saw you mention on Twitter that in addition to Cody, Rock, Roman, Seth, Bianca, and Rhea, that Becky, Jade, and Montez Ford, I didn't see them advertised. Did WWE just share that with press? Yes, they shared an entire talent list with us at the press. They're going to have Bianca and Montez there for obvious reasons. They've got a major show. So if you can capitalize off of the NFL media that is there, get Bianca and Montez in front of them. First off, NFL media is going to fall in love with those two for the love of God. Like those two doing media, it's second nature to them. JM says, have you seen the ESPN article about Cody Dwayne saying that the chants are from a vocal minority? Was it propaganda from WWE? I don't know, but it was not a vocal minority. Like, listen, you can say a lot about sample size and who's on Twitter, whatever. I ran a poll that had almost 108,000 votes. That's not a small sample size. That's more people than have been at any WrestleMania ever. And only 17.7% said they preferred The Rock versus Roman at Mania. Jordan Scott says, the main event was good, but after Friday, the last thing I wanted was another match between the two. Me too. When I saw them do that attack backstage, I went, ugh. After the Rumble seemed like the 6th inning, and this was starting back at 1, couldn't really care less about it. He also says, if things stay this way, using Rock to swerve attention away from the lawsuit seems like such a short-sighted thing if and when more people and things come out. But it goes back to the forefront. You still have fans burned by the Cody slight. Well, I can tell you guys that Rock pushed for this before the news of that lawsuit came out. That is something that I have learned. Any reports about the cool bus? I don't have a goddamn clue what you're talking about.
I was about to say, what's the cool bus?
Not a goddamn clue. Anyway, Kenneth says, hey, it worked this time. Have some money. Well, thank you. Any idea what Orton and Styles will do at Mania? Gosh, that hasn't even been discussed, Denise.
I know. I don't even know.
Oh, man.
I mean, they can wrestle each other.
Or, hey, if they do the Logan Paul multi-man like ladder match for the U.S. title, they could do that as well.
Yeah, that would be
fun. But also,
fun.
those are some pretty big names to just put into that. Any news on Mania 40 for John Cena? I haven't heard anything. But I mean, like, he's a big name, but they've had him lose to Solo and Austin Theory.
Yeah, but people still they just want to see John Cena, and the little kids are like, oh, John Cena. So it's having him on the show, even if he's taken those losses, it doesn't matter. It's John Cena. People want to see him.
Oh, man. We've got Red Devil Gamer saying, is there actually any proof that Rock Roman was planned in secret by the board prior to the Rumble and nobody in creative knew about it? I can tell you now, that is what the people that I have talked to lead me to believe. I'll have a lot more on Fightful Select on Tuesday, but that, yeah.
Leading you to believe that there is or there isn't proof of that.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Also the person who, wow. Okay. So, you know how people said, oh, well, there were 2 sets of We Want Cody signs. One person admitted it publicly on Twitter. This person just DM'd me, sent me their tweet. They made the other stack personally. So that wasn't a WWE thing.
And fans are allowed to do that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
how you get a movement going.
Yeah. Cody versus Roman. Rock comes out, stops Solo from interfering, setting up the crumbling of the bloodline, and Rock Roman at 41. Like, I also understand if Rock doesn't wrestle at Mania, there are going to be some people that probably bought tickets as well that are like, yeah, I thought that he was going to wrestle.
They surely made it seem like he was wrestling. That's why everyone's saying like, oh yeah, now he's going to be a special guest referee. I'm like, bro, what? They did not make it seem like that on Friday Night SmackDown.
Will Chisholm says, could the person NXT teases be Tama Tonga? Possibly. I can't say that it couldn't be. I haven't heard anything about it, though. Chris Nolan says, do you think Rock will win the title at Mania? Then Cody walks out, has a match with The Rock, wins the title as it should be. No, that completely undermines the whole shit. Cody Rhodes should be pinning Roman Reigns for the title clean as a sheet. That's what should happen. Joseph Rockford says, is The Rock winning at Mania? That I don't know. I had heard that he had pitched it, pushed for it a little bit, but
no, they can't do it like that. No.
8 Young Nasty Man 8 says, in 2008, Cena used his win to challenge Orton at No Way Out, so there's no reason Cody couldn't use it for a match at Chamber. There's not, but yeah, there's not. Lawrence says, I feel so good making those signs. Oh my God. Avery Duncan says, everyone keeps saying how Rock Roman is bigger. I get it. I understand. However, WWE is at an all-time boom, selling out everywhere. So many countries are paying WWE to come to them without the part-timers. Accurate. Completely accurate. And guess who the guy is that is heading up the merch there? Guess who the guy is that there's a direct line drawn to? He showed up, asses got in seats. That man's name is Cody Rhodes.
And on top of that, the tickets have already been sold. And it's like they're not doing pay-per-view buys. They're on the Peacock or the network, depending on where you live. But it's mostly like advertising money and that type of stuff. That's going to be huge for them, having The Rock on the show. And that's where I think the big business is coming from.
Yeah. Guys, by the way, I don't know, nor can I help what other outlets report. We will do our own reporting on this situation, and I'll be very confident in it. This will be Rock's last match, right? I don't know. I don't know that because he just inked a huge deal with WWE. So
I guess it depends on how this match goes, because if he has a similar situation like what happened the last time that he wrestled, then maybe he won't want to wrestle again. And I mean, how much bigger can you get than wrestling, someone from your own family at WrestleMania? Like, you don't get bigger than that in terms of like, that to me would be like the perfect retirement match, the perfect way to go out.
Vin says, great work from you two. Hope you guys get a Rock interview at the presser. SRS might attack him. No, absolutely not. I'm not expecting to get The Rock, but if I do, I would get maybe 60 seconds with him. I'm expecting to get reels and shorts from this thing.
But make those 60 seconds pretty damn good.
Jordan, your original super chat was not missed. We're getting to him. There's a lot of them. In fact, you said, sorry if this has been asked. Do you think this swerve by the office will affect Cody's re-signing? Maybe not returning to AEW, but use it as a bargaining chip. Great work, y'all. I think it could be used as a bargaining chip. Yes. I don't know if Cody has re-signed or not. I have asked a whole lot, and I was outright told when it was reported elsewhere, oh no, he re-signed. I was told that is not accurate. Pen was not put to paper. The contract was sent in October. That doesn't mean it was signed. And that was specifically
when is this contract supposed to be up?
That I don't know. And I've been trying to find out since the moment he signed his original one.
Come on, Sean, I thought you were the dirt sheet boy.
It's a constant back and forth between me and the person that I try to get that info from. There you go. Grindstone said, who reputably said Rock is pushing to win? A little guy named Sean Ross Sapp, who's reported thousands of accurate stories over the last several years. Never heard of him. Said that at one point, he was pushing to win. Slide Away says, imagine the outrage. Finger poke of doom. Rock and Reigns. That ain't happening.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I don't know what would happen. It would be like madness.
Joseph Rockford asks if The Rock is still a draw. He's less relevant than ever.
Of course he's still, I would say yes. He definitely still a draw. He's The Rock.
Fair. He's still a draw. For sure. For sure. He's less relevant than he's been in a long time. That is true. But he's also being talked about an awful lot right now. Tamel says Roman's story is not Cody's story. We've been waiting 4 years for this match. Cody can finish writing his story another time. I'm sorry, but I consider that complete and utter bullshit, because The Rock can finish his fucking story whenever he wants, because there's not a title that needs to be associated with it. You know when Rock can finish his story? A couple years ago when Roman Reigns was facing Brock Lesnar for the 732nd time at WrestleMania.
Oh my God, yes.
And The Rock's sitting there like, I don't know if this story makes sense. You know, when Vince and whoever went to go meet with him about doing the damn match. Who is this Sean Ross Sapp guy? Is he reliable? We'll see. Tom says Cody injury, Angle night 1. Yoko Hogan finish on night 2. Heyman calls out anyone to take on Roman after beating Rock. Cody makes triumphant return. No, I don't want that either, Tom. And the reason is I don't want the crutch. I don't want the excuse. I don't want the Roman got beat at less than 100% thing. Cody beating Roman straight up. No bullshit. No bullshit.
I agree on that one. Because then it's like, you might as well give him the consolation title with the World Heavyweight Championship that everybody was talking about. You know? That's how it would feel if he didn't have like a full-on match with Roman Reigns and defeat him cleanly. Because it's like, if you're going to take the title away from Roman Reigns, it's gonna have to be a big deal like that. He can't just get screwed out of like how long he's held the title now just to get screwed at like the last couple of seconds.
Vin had also said, do you think it's an idea to turn Rock heel and go Hollywood Rock? Might be the only way he works in 2024 as a regular character. He says that he now has more power than Triple H in WWE. Does Gewurz take over as head of creative if Triple H is too connected to the Vince stuff? Again, I want to make this abundantly clear, and for future super chatters, please do not fantasy book the involvement of people in this scandal by name. I think that's gross. I don't think that's fair. If they are implicated at some point, that's fine. Do not fantasy book people being involved with something like this when right now there's nothing pointing to that. You can assume it on your own all you want. I'm not going to fantasy book that element of somebody's abuse. But I do think that Brian Gewurz is going to be involved with what The Rock does. I wonder if The Rock is self-aware enough to realize that there is some Rock fatigue.
I don't know, because when you think about like how famous and powerful he is in Hollywood and sports and like literally every realm, maybe you might not. When people are constantly around you telling you how much you're like awesome and you rock, you know, like sometimes you might not be able to see that. I don't know. I don't know the Rock. I have no idea what he thinks.
What does Rock versus Roman do to Jay versus Jimmy? Not shit. They'll still do Jay versus Jimmy. Alex Smith, another generous one, says, I think Rock as referee makes sense. The Rock can be there to keep the bloodline at bay. Cody can finish his story. You can use what happens in the match to lay the foundation for next year for Rock and Roman. Based on what I saw at day one, it made me think that Rock probably needed a while to get ready. And I mean, now that being said, 4 months was probably enough for him to get ready. He
looks a little slimmed down.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, it was, but man, they really booked themselves into a corner. And there are a lot of people that think, it's been a work the whole time. No.
Okay, let me ask you something though. Now, if they do decide to backtrack on this and make Cody Roman with Rock as a special guest referee, do you think that's lame? Because I kind of think it's lame.
No. I think that if The Rock says that he recognizes what the audience wants and does that, then no, I don't.
I would rather have just maybe The Rock come out as be in Cody's corner or something. Like, I would prefer something like that.
N. Simmons says, if they pivot and change the main event, I need Hollywood Rock back. It's the perfect opportunity to bring him back into a double turn with Reigns. What if, Denise, you know what's even worse that they could do?
What?
The Rock is the special guest ref and he screws Cody out of the
Oh, come on. See, that's what I'm saying. Every time they do special guest referee stuff, like something happens, you're not going to get the match that you're expecting you get.
Could you
because some
imagine?
freaking Lollapalooza has to go down. That's what I'm saying.
Lollapalooza.
That's what I'm calling it.
It's a music festival.
I know, but I like to say it like that. Okay, Sean? It's a word I choose to use in that fashion.
No.
The point that I'm trying to say
And then Cody faces The Rock, but not now, at SummerSlam. Oh, boy.
Sean, if we get The Rock as special guest referee, I already can tell you we're not going to get the match that we think we're going to get. Oh my God. No, you know what? It is going to happen now that, great. The Rock's going to turn on Cody at that moment.
Man.
It's good. That's it. I'm done. I give up, Sean. It's going to happen. That's what
James
I'm saying.
says,
might as well just look, they made their bed. Now lie in it is what I'm saying. They already made their bed. Lie in it.
We got people saying anything in the latest PW Insider post. No, we will do our own reporting. We will have that out Tuesday, FightfulSelect.com. I cannot speak to somebody else's reporting. I cannot sit here on the air and confirm or deny somebody else's stuff. N. Simmons says, Cody Roman loses The Rock, or loses, and The Rock takes the bloodline in a double turn. Then we get Rock Roman at SummerSlam, where Rock wins the blow off at 41. Oh, brother. This is not hard. It is not hard. Cody beats Roman. Rock says you've never been the head of the table. They have a match. Roman beats The Rock. Hey, Stag says they could have easily done the HBK Austin Tyson angle with Rock counting the 3 to give Cody the win, setting up Rock Roman for the future. Exactly.
I wasn't sure what you were going to do with your hands. I was
he's
waiting
right.
for it. I know,
He's
but I was
exactly
wondering
right.
what you were going to do because I wasn't sure what you were going to do with the hands, like what direction you were going to go.
Brother. Jordan Scott says, if Rock beats Roman, just bring Cena back to beat him for Flair's record at that point. Not like anything matters anymore at that point. I think if Cena beats that record, it's going to be for the Seth title even. Yeah. James says, WWE is benefiting way too much from this Cody fumble. Not saying it's a work, but Sean, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and has sex like a duck, it's probably a work. Well, brother, I don't know if you've listened to our show at all for the last 90 minutes, but I have said once Friday rolled around, I don't have an answer as to what their adjustment has been. But I'm just going to tell you what doesn't quack like a fucking work. All the people that I heard from that said, this is not what we were informed of. This is not what they were informed of as of a certain date. And yeah, they would have no reason to tell me that they found out days before Friday that this was going to happen.
Keep the duck reference, but it's not about it being a work, but rather them trying to get people to not talk about Vince McMahon. That's literally, keep the duck reference in there, but just switch that part out.
The Line Drive says, well, at this point, it might as well be tradition, triple threat for the title at decade anniversary Manias 20, 30, and 40. SAS says, right now, do you think we're going to get Rock versus Roman and Cody versus Roman at Mania? If we do, which match do you put on day 1 and day 2? I would put Rock Roman day 1, Cody Roman day 2. I would have Roman win night 1.
That was like my original prediction months ago, but that was months ago, so I'm not too confident in that anymore.
Baco 5 says, have Roman attack The Rock at the press conference, injure him. Cody would step in for the main event, saving face for everyone.
I mean, if you want to save face, that probably is the way to go about it, to be honest. That's like the only way.
I don't hate that idea. Just a reminder, guys, Hulk Hogan doesn't have any record. He doesn't have a record.
Have Cody's dog just like run in and jump on top of The Rock. Oh my God. Okay, whatever.
This person is accurate. Hulk Hogan doesn't have a record. Bob Backlund has more days than him. Bruno has more days than him. Jordan says, okay, Cody wins 3-way. Okay, but then what? Then you have minimized a potential Rock Roman match. You have minimized Cody versus Roman. You've minimized Cody pinning who the hell else he already has. Oh, man. Heyman and Solo become head of their table. Hilarious. Wear a lay on his after Mania promo on Raw. Nope. That ain't happening, my friend. Sorry. Ryan says, Sean, thanks for all your in-depth coverage of the Cody Rock situation. You've reported before that Cody had not signed a contract offered to him in October. Has he still not signed it? Well, I can tell you what I'm going to ask if I get any time with Cody on Thursday. It's going to be if he's signed. He probably won't answer it. I asked him about JD's head.
I was going to say, why don't you ask him if JD McDonough's head has grown since the last time you guys talked?
Doing great numbers on social, by the way. Luis says, my pitch. Luis, we are 100 minutes into this show. Why is our goddamn moderator keeping this show going? Cut it out, dude.
Because he gets a bonus. Leave him alone.
No shit.
In that case, I'm about to start sending a bunch of super chats.
A-Stag says, Paul Heyman for Hall of Fame in Philly. Yeah, I would like that. But Rock attacked by Sikoa versus Rocket Mania, I'm coping. I'd be 100% fine with that, too. 1,000,000% fine with that.
I don't know.
The line drives.
They already teased the Rock and Roman, so you might as well just give it to us now. Like I said, they made the bed, lie in it. That's it.
Line drive. What the fuck does that mean? They made the bed, lie in it. Cody needs this title shot. The line drive says,
yeah, but they already undid that, Sean. They already undid it on Friday Night SmackDown.
Not in an official capacity. No, they haven't.
Okay, now you sound like you're WWE. You sound like
hold the fuck on. No, I don't. Because Cody said not at WrestleMania. He did not say, I'm challenging Seth. He absolutely did not. Cody.
So then what's he saying? He's not going to be at WrestleMania? What's he going to do then?
Shit. He ain't said anything. He said a whole lot of nothing, just brought out The Rock. He has not said anything. That's the point.
But you can take from what he said, though, that he's not facing Roman at WrestleMania. Because he did say that.
This show ain't real. It's scripted.
Yeah,
they can change anything they want.
Okay, this is like killing off a character in one season and then bringing him back the next because some weirdo response. Yes, it's scripted, but let's make it at least make sense. What I'm saying is don't come out and say you're not going to face this man at freaking WrestleMania and then all of a sudden, oh, wait, yeah, you know what? I actually am going to face this man at WrestleMania.
You say they made the bed, now they got to lie in it. What if they shit the bed, Denise? Are they not going to change the sheets?
I don't know, Sean. I'm just trying to tell you. They already told us this on freaking Friday. They already told us this. All right? I don't want to sit here next week pretending like we didn't see SmackDown from this past Friday. Like, should I just erase that from my memory? Why would they do all of that and then all of a sudden take it back?
Jay Miller says Rock or Aldis take care of the bloodline interference.
They picked a lane.
Jonathan Corona says, how about Jacob Fatu debuts in WWE Mania or Chamber? I don't know. I don't know the travel situation that he would be eligible for there. Nises sent a super chat. Thank you. Prime Either says, we already know how your interview with Cody will go. You'll just be showing him a ton of memes the whole time. My memes were accurate. I told him to Nancy Kerrigan, that son of a bitch, and he's sitting there calling me out the presser. He thinks they'd be hilarious. No, Cody, I didn't find them funny. I found them useful. I thought they would help you. And now look. Line drive
Maybe the memes discouraged him from going after Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Shouldn't have. Marquis says, can't help but to feel for Triple H. Seems like there's always a target on him in his position. No denying this man knows his stuff. Why are they trying to take this from him? Let him cook. We want Cody. Yeah, this was something that was above his head, in my opinion. And I agree. They should, if they were so adamant that Vince not be involved in creative, which thank God they were, and they wanted Triple H to head that up, why are they meddling? Why are they meddling with it? Announce a new PLE in Vegas for Cody? Yeah, but what would Cody have to benefit from that? He's an Atlanta guy. Why there?
I don't know.
It'd be there or MSG. It'd be Atlanta or MSG if it was something sentimental to him. And I am going to MSG for the December 26th show. With my luck, we stand a better chance of seeing it there. Thoughts on Fuminori Abe? And I did not watch this. Patrick Faruga. But I did watch Soft Ground Ugandan Wrestling. Did you see that, Denise?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, it friggin' rules. It is incredible. It is so good. It is just a few guys from Uganda wrestling in front of their fans or friends and fans on the ground with posts, and they like run and throw each other into the posts. You've got to watch this. It's incredible.
Where
if you
do I
review
watch
it,
this?
Well, they tried to game the SEO system, and it's like WWE Royal Rumble Results is the name of it. It's fantastic.
Wait, is this on YouTube?
Yes, you should watch it. It is incredible. But yes. Also, to the person that sent the super chat about other reports, I can't speak to other reports. Patrick says, trust me, you would absolutely love that match. You should review the match, Denise. It's really that good. Tom says, for Denise, pick one. T-Swift, Super Bowl win, or Cody finishes the story at Mania.
How about I just care about Taylor Swift and that's all that matters? Sorry.
But she's not winning.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's like, so technically I wouldn't care about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No offense to Chiefs fans, but I just care about going to the Eras Tour and downloading Taylor Swift's music and getting on her albums and supporting her. So I technically more Eras Tours and more albums is what I want.
The field team leader says it's surreal that even with losing Punk to injury, the top of the card is so full of compelling talent, which makes it disappointing they wanted to headline Mania with a couple of part-timers. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a wonderful assessment. I think that is completely accurate and probably a great description of the frustration associated. Anthony says the worst part about this is I am in Philly, and The Rock's name being tied to it made the ticket resellers skyrocket higher than they already were. I hate that.
That's a bummer, man. I freaking hate scalpers. They piss me off, man.
There needs to be regulation put in place. There needs to be some laws put in place.
Nah, these freaking companies do it themselves, man. They're rooting for these scalpers. They're helping them out, bro. It's all a sham.
Well, of course, because they get a big cut of it.
Yeah, exactly. They hate the people. They hate the public. Sorry. I have issues with these people.
Joel Wood says he hasn't made his decision. He can say the support he's received has made him have a change of heart. He can say anything he wants. It is a scripted show, so you're right. And the line drive, I think, wraps us up. So, Sean, I want to say I appreciate your hard work. The last month has seemingly been rough with some of the topics you tackled. You're such a saint, patience-wise. Well, that's a first hearing that, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I was going to say Sean and saint in the same sentence. Am I in the Twilight Zone?
Denise, well, first off, line drive, I really appreciate that. And guys, I just want to tell you sincerely, I really appreciate you guys showing up with all the super chats and humper chats. If you didn't get enough, Sour Graps has a show on Fightful Select. It's still going on right now, so you can hop on right over there. FightfulSelect.com, best $5 in the business. But Alex Smith says, aside from all the Rock stuff, hearing Bring Me the Horizon on the NXT show last night was awesome. I thought that was a fun show. Denise, did you ever see the video I posted? It was 5 years ago. And one of my friends was a school teacher, and there was a little girl that did her coding class and made a website about how much she liked Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch responded to her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
That girl, first off, her brother now works for WWE.
Okay.
And she was the girl that was reacting to the Trick and Carmelo turn last night. Her birthday was actually last week. And in another twist, her father, later on I found out her father, I interviewed him, has guest coached at the PC like 2 or 3 times. He's an indie wrestler that's competed everywhere. So deep
small
roots in
world.
wrestling there. But I was very happy to see that on NXT. We have one more super chat. Slide Away says Cody versus Rock versus Reigns is the only option, in my opinion. Rock is protected, doesn't have to eat the pin. Cody finishes the story. Everybody wins except Roman. Here's how I could see that working. Roman's got to get pinned by Cody. Clean. Cody celebrates all that. James Zimmerman, missed yours, buddy. I am going to try to find it for you. During Denise's plug, I promise you, I'm going to try to find it because our moderator should be able to help me. But I think that after Cody is celebrating, Rock and Roman are still in the ring, and they like get up to each other's face, and they still have their face off for that. But
insinuating what?
Who the fuck cares?
Okay. I was just saying.
Oh, I did get one. Rocky does indeed suck. All I heard this weekend was the live crowds wouldn't turn on Rock. I think they did tonight. Endeavor, smarten up. There you go. And there was also this one that got missed, I can tell you right now. McAfee has been putting over Shinsuke's song on his show for years. Having to quell himself for Shinsuke's heel entrance is awesome to me. Yes, that was good. But yeah, Endeavor does need to smarten up. Endeavor does need to...
I think they're seeing it as they already smartened up because they're seeing like all the advertising dollars. So I think in their eyes, they see it differently.
Well, we saw $5 more. Spidey says, just for the hard work the past couple of weeks, best $5 a month. We are so proud of the work that we have done there. Over 24 exclusive posts last week, like 5,000 or 6,000 words. Not only that, you'll have a lot of people saying, well, who do they talk to in wrestling? Well, 6 of those stories came directly from the talent themselves. And then another 6 were confirmed by talent that we spoke to. Denise, as we wrap up, our longest Raw post show in a long time where not shit happened.
I know. By the way, like, this was on just about the news that we had like throughout the last couple of days because nothing happened on Raw besides like 2 things. Anyways, yeah. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo. That's the place to be. I have so much content going up there each and every single day. It's my baby. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo.
Guys, we are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We're everywhere. If you do us a favor, please leave us a nice review over on Apple. I know thousands of you watch on YouTube. Not as many people listen on Apple or Spotify or whatever. We're on podcast platforms everywhere. You can always go to FightfulPods.com and get all of our stuff. But if you leave us nice reviews over there, 5-star reviews, first off, you'll be entered into a lot of future contests because every giveaway that we do from here on out, everybody that has left a 5-star review will be entered in one of those contests. But it also helps people find us, helps us get better guests and the like. Please do that for Denise's shows as well. Until next time, guys, we're out.